Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video we're going to be doing a little review, and I have the brand new Natasha Denona mini holiday kit here to share with you. This is the new mini Metropolis eyeshadow palette and brush gift set. So I'm really excited about this because, first of all, I've never seen Natasha Denona do a mini kit, like including another product with like this brush. So I think that's really fun, and she kept it at pretty much the same price point too, which is nice. So it's like getting a little extra. And you guys know I'm a pretty big fan of Natasha. I buy most of her palettes, not every single one, but I love to buy the midi palettes and also the mini ones. Those are always my favorite. So when I saw she was doing a mini Metropolis, I was super excited and had to check it out. I actually had the Metropolis palette when it originally came out, and it wasn't one I gravitated towards for a lot. I just felt like it was a little bit overpriced for what I was getting. It does come with extra shadows, but I felt like a lot of the shades in that one were so repetitive, and I felt like every time I tried to use it, I just got very overwhelmed. But I still loved like the color scheme of it, so I feel like this has kind of the best of that palette for me because we get the golds and greens, which I loved in that palette. I didn't love all the orangey tones that were in there, so I'm glad it's not in this mini. So that is why I picked this one up. I thought it was perfect for me. I love my neutrals. I know a lot of people are like, it's just neutrals with a pop of green. Hey, we love neutrals on this channel. We're all about that life. Neutral eyeshadows is what I wear most from day to day, and that's what I get the most use out of my collection, but we still get a little pop of color in here. So let's go over this little kit here. I ordered mine off of Sephora. So this is the mini Metropolis eyeshadow palette packaging. It has the dark green background looking gorgeous, and then here is the palette. So this palette actually makes sense to what it goes with, because a lot of people like got kind of upset because I didn't really like that the mid-size retro palette didn't match the mini. And they're like, oh, that's not how it's supposed to be. But yet we have here the mini Metropolis, which matches the big Metropolis. So I don't know. It's just kind of confusing how some minis match up with the big ones and some don't. I like to see them all match up, but I heard they are doing like a green and peach palette coming up with more greens in it, so that could be kind of a better version of the retro palette, even though I have been really enjoying my mid-size one. But yes, let's talk about this guy. These are the shades we got. Let's do some swatches here. So the first shade is this gold, and this one is called Blaze. This is in the original Metropolis, and it is such a stunning gold. It looks like literally liquid gold on the swatch. It's so pretty and metallic. Next we have kind of this mustard yellow. This one is called Rope. This is also in the original Metropolis. And this is a really pretty mid-tone mustard. I think this is going to be a really nice crease shade. I love these kind of shades for fall. We also have Jubilee. And this one is also in the big Metropolis. And it is this beautiful metallic emerald green. Next we have this brown color. This one is called Bole, I believe it says, and this is not in the original Metropolis, but I think it's a perfect addition to this palette because I felt like this was kind of missing in the Metropolis. Like I couldn't really build up a lot of depth in that palette. A lot of the browns in there were very orangey toned, so I love that they included this more, I would say it's a more cool tone, honestly. This brown builds up really pretty. And then we have this just matte cream called Corrode. This is also not in the big palette, but it is a nice kind of sandy tan shade that you could use to set the lid or something. We'll see how it works. I don't know why the edges are like dark, but that's how this shade's swatched in the mini Metropolis. I think it's a perfect put together kind of palette for me. I got my neutral browns, I got a couple pops of color, and some gorgeous metallics. I also forgot to show you guys a close-up of the brush. So this is what the little brush looks like. It is like half of a regular size brush. I'll show you in comparison to this Alter Ego brush. You can see it's about half this size, but it's a cute little mini one and it feels really good. Let's go ahead and put this on the eyes. Alright, so I do want to use the included brush today. I think the first shade I'm going to try out, let's go ahead and see what this shade does. Corrode in my crease. I don't know if it's going to do a whole lot. This might be a better just like setting kind of shade, because yeah, now that I'm setting it down, it's just a little bit darker than my skin tone, so I guess you could actually use it to blend out like different eyeshadows. So I'll put that in the crease just so you guys can kind of see it and see what the color looks like. I'm going to go ahead and actually add the gold color called Rope in the crease as well. It seems to blend nicely. This brush so far, it's not my favorite crease brush. I like something a little bit more fluffy. This one doesn't kind of fluff out as much as I would like. So it's kind of concentrated where I'm putting the product, and I feel like it's a little bit hard to blend out with this type of a brush, but it does work. I just want to say it's my favorite shape for blending. I think it's going to be good for the outer corner though, so let's dip into this brown called Bolé and put this in the outer corner of the eye. Now this color, originally when I put on the first layer, it seemed a little light. And as I'm blending it, I'm kind of losing the pigmentation, but I don't know, it seems a little bit weird. Let's see, over here, it seems to be working better on this side, so I don't know, it's probably just user error. I still think it is lighter than I would expect, but it seems like it's something that you do need to build up. I'm going in with one of my personal brushes, and I'm liking how this is blending a lot better, so I think it's actually the brush. That's the issue here. Sometimes a good brush makes all the difference, so I just like a good fluffy brush for blending. Alright, next we're going to take a little bit of the green on my finger here. I'm going to place this in the middle and a little bit towards the end. So I'm just patting that on with my finger. And we'll take the gold on the inner portion of the eye. This gold is more of a kind of a flaky texture. I'm gonna go over that with my finger. My finger's always the best tool. I just get way more payoff, and it's not as flaky. Once I use my finger, it smooths it out a lot more. So that's just my favorite way to do shimmers. So I'm just kind of trying to melt those two shades together. I'm adding a little bit more green, so it's an easy blend. And that's kind of just a look using most of the shades. Let's add something on the lower lash line too. So I'm gonna take the brown actually on the lower lash line. I'm gonna take my Patrick Ta eyeliner in cream on the lower lash line as well. Sometimes I just like a really brightened under eye right there to open the eyes a bit more. I usually do white, cream, or a brown liner typically. For my lashes, I'm actually going to try some new ones today that I ordered on Sephora. It's a new magnetic lash from Velour that looked so good. So I cannot wait to try these out. I love magnetic lashes because I feel like they're so easy to apply and pull off at the end of the night. And these are like a no trim one, so they're not too long, and it also comes with the magnetic liner, which is nice. So let's apply this. And I just do a thin line across my eyelid here. And then we'll just plop these right on top of that magnet. Oh yes, these are the perfect size. My other ones are always so long, and I hate trimming them because I always feel like I'm messing up the magnet. So that's pretty much perfect. It's not a super long lash by any means, but I think it looks very natural. And hopefully it will hold up for the rest of the day. Alright, so here is the finished look. Love how everything came out. I did use a couple other Natasha products on the face. I used the Bloom Cheek Palette. I don't know, do they still sell this one? I love this. It has 2 creams and 2 shimmery kind of blushes in here. I kind of did a mixture of all of them on the cheeks. I kind of like to sheer it out. This one's so pretty. It looks dark, but sheer, it's stunning. So I did use that on the cheeks, and then I did also use a Natasha lipstick. It's actually called Natasha, and this is one of my favorite lipstick colors because it kind of goes with every single look. It's more on the peachy undertone side, so love this lipstick from Natasha in her I Need a Nude line, and that's the finished look using all these products. I'll have the other stuff I use also linked down below, but let's get into my final thoughts. Alright guys, so for my final thoughts here on the new Mini Metropolis kit, so far I think it is really cute. I'm happy with my purchase. I don't think the brush is like the best for me, just not what I prefer, but I don't think it's like a terrible brush. I mean, it's really nice that it's basically included as a free item, so I'm trying not to like count that as like knocking the product down, because I mean, we did still create a gorgeous look today, and the only shade I struggled with a bit is that brown, the darker brown. I just felt like it wasn't as deep as I thought it would be. It took a few times to build up, but once I did get it to the depth I wanted, it seemed to work better once I switched my brush, so that could be it. I really liked how the look came out. I think it's a stunning palette. Now, if you guys do own Metropolis, of course, we have quite a few shades out of that palette, so you probably do not need this mini if you already own the big one, because you're already going to have repeat shades. This is more geared for those who maybe don't have that palette or just want something a little bit more condensed. So I'm really happy with it. I love the colors that are included. I did want to compare it to some other Natasha palettes in my collection just to kind of see. It's not really, I would say, a dupe for any of the things I personally have, but I just wanted to see everything side by side. So here is Mini Metropolis next to Mini Star. Kind of a similar vibe, but I feel like the Metropolis offers like a deeper tone. Just kind of looking at the greens, this one's more of a duochrome, this one's darker, and then this is more of a cool gold, and this is more of a warm. And then here it is next to the Mini Gold palette. The Mini Gold's definitely a lot more kind of green toned, so I don't feel like those match up at all really. I was looking at Zendo, because Zendo has kind of some of those blue greens and it has the bronzy tones. Let me see if those match up at all. So the Mini Metropolis compared to the Zendo. I think Zendo is definitely more of a blue. So that's Mini Metropolis, that's Zendo. Those don't quite match up. And then let's see if the bronze matches up. The bronze is kind of similar, but the Mini Metropolis is actually a little bit brighter. So I mean, these might be like too similar for some of you, so if you do have Zendo, you might have kind of a similar vibe going on with Mini Metropolis, but it's definitely not an exact match, but I think you can replicate it a little bit. Of course, you don't have the yellow gold matte that's in this one, but the browns are kind of similar. And then I wanted to compare it to the classic gold. I heard this one's being discontinued, which hurts my heart so much. This is like my OG favorite Natasha palette. This was like my go-to before the glam and the bronze came out. I still prefer this one over bronze, but the golds in here are beautiful. This is the only shimmery blue-green. I don't think that's gonna be a dupe. It's more similar to Zendo. Yeah, so that's the gold blue. It does not really match up with this green. Let's see if we can dupe the bronze. I feel like this is a very similar bronze that's in the gold palette. Okay, so I put the gold one right here, and then this one is from Metropolis. Those two are kind of similar, not exactly. I still feel like Metropolis is a little more flaky, but they do look pretty, I don't know, pretty similar. Not an exact dupe, but you know, I think you can get a little bit more dupes in gold than in some of the other palettes I have, but definitely Metropolis is going to be the #1 dupe, the big palette, if you have it already. But I do feel like these are kind of similar. If you like this kind of color scheme, you guys should definitely check out the big gold palette before it's gone. I'll link it down below, but it's seriously one of my favorite Natasha big palettes. It's like the only big palette from her that I have left besides the Trio Chrome. So let me go ahead and wipe these swatches off. So overall, I think this is a good buy. I love the mini palettes. I always think they're a good deal, and the added in brush kind of makes it more of a nice incentive, nice for the holidays. I feel like this is a really gorgeous color scheme. If you guys love this look I did today, I do think there's a few more looks you can definitely get out of this palette. Like, you can do very similar to what I did, just if you want to do more kind of neutral warm tones, just use this one all over the lid. You could just use this one all over the lid. You could try a little halo eye. So while sometimes the looks are limited with these, it just makes it very easy when thinking of what to do for your look, and it's an easy way to kind of incorporate color. But yeah, I'm happy with it. Let me know what you guys thought of this one. Are you picking this one up? I know VIB sale is right around the corner. If you guys don't want to pay full price for it right now, the 20% starts November 5th. That is my thoughts on the new Natasha Denona Metropolis Mini. I hope you guys enjoyed this little review, and hopefully you found it helpful. I do have a couple exciting reviews coming up in the next couple of days here, so stay tuned for that. Lots of fun videos on the way. Make sure you check out my TJ Maxx video from yesterday. I uploaded it very late last night because I was out so long and I didn't get my video done until late, so definitely check that out because we found some pretty cool stuff at TJ Maxx the other day. But I will let you guys go. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.